We see that dream of beauty and purpose take shape. To commence this auspicious occasion, let us draw inspiration from the timeless words of Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore, a prayer that reminds us of highest aspirations of human minds, a vision for generations ahead.
Where the mind is without fear, and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action. Into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake.
Thank you. With that serene beginning, I invite Dr. Siddharth Narendran to introduce the research mission, share the vision behind this center, and to extend a warm introduction of our esteemed guest who graced this occasion.
Good afternoon. It is my privilege to warmly welcome you all to this special occasion, the inauguration of the Dr. P. Nambarmal Swamy Regional Research Center here at Aravindai Hospital, Coimbatore. We are deeply honored to have with us Mr. Sanjay Jayavatnavelu, Chairman and Managing Director of LMW Limited, and Dr. Lalita Devi Sanjay, Managing Trustee of GKD Charity Trust, both of whom have always strongly believed in the value of research and have supported our initiatives with great commitment through the GKD Charity Trust. It is also our privilege to welcome Dr. G. Nachyar Madam, Director Emeritus, Aravind Eye Care System, Dr. R.D. Ravindran Sir, Chairman, Aravind Eye Care System, and Professor Dharmalingam Sir, Director, Aravind Medical Research Foundation. We also welcome all the collaborators, colleagues, members of the Aravind fraternity for this special occasion. I'm so happy to see so many partners in science, vision, and care to gather here for this occasion. I will now take a few minutes to briefly set the context of the center and the research initiatives more broadly. So from 11 beds in 1976, Aravind has grown into an expansive eye care ecosystem, handling over 6 million outpatient visits and performing more than 750,000 surgeries and procedures each year, half of them being free or subsidized. This was all towards our founder's mission of eliminating needless blindness through compassionate, high quality, affordable eye care to all. Over these 50 years, Aravind's dedication to the mission has been done with unwavering dedication. However, the very words needless blindness have been a moving target. In the 70s, blindness was defined purely quantitatively as vision less than 3 by 60. Today, it includes even near vision impairment and functional vision loss. In the 70s, needless blindness was cataract, trachoma, and keratomalacia. Today, it has evolved to include diabetic retinopathy, glaucoma, and even inherited retinal diseases. So our mission has been constant and will continue to remain constant. However, the challenges we must address to fulfill this mission keep evolving. Aravind has always been a very proactive organization in responding to the needs of the time. In the 1970s and to the 90s, blindness in India was primarily driven by cataract, trachoma, and keratomalacia. Conditions with known cures, the barrier was access. So Aravind initiated several programs which became national programs to eradicate these conditions. The result, keratomalacia and trachoma are virtually eliminated nationwide in India, while cataract surgical rates have risen to be on par with high-income countries. This was era one, which was delivery at scale. The second era, in the 1990s to 2010s, diabetic retinopathy and glaucoma became predominant ocular conditions which were responsible for a lot of blindness. Again, barrier was no longer an access, the access was affordability. Solutions were available, but not at a cost which were affordable to the Indian population. So Aravind responded again. We started manufacturing, Aurolab started manufacturing indigenous intraocular lenses. Today, India produces more than 25% of global generics in ophthalmology and intraocular lenses. Diabetic retinopathy telescreening programs, biosimilar anti-VEGFs, homegrown glaucoma implants, and generic glaucoma drugs have made lifelong treatment both accessible and affordable. This was era 2, which was indigenous manufacturing as a lever of equity. But despite these accomplishments, India still carries the world's largest burden of blindness and visual impairment. And this is the paradox. Manufacturing and training have scaled. India produces more than 25% of global generics and intraocular lenses. For example, the cataract surgical rates in Tamil Nadu are nearly equal to the US. However, globalization unfortunately skipped research. And this is the new reality we have to handle. First, scale is not enough. Again, Tamil Nadu's cataract surgical rates is similar to the US, but cataract blindness in Tamil Nadu is 60%, while in the US it is less than 5%. So high volume does not mean solved need. Second, our problems are unique. Fungal keratitis causes 8 times more blindness in India than age-related macular degeneration, which is the most common cause of blindness in the US. But fungal keratitis receives 1/100th of the global research funding that AMD receives. Third, our population is unique. Inherited retinal diseases like retinitis pigmentosa are 10 times more common in India than the West. But despite being 20% of the world's population, our genetic data, available data, is less than 2%. So with the advent of precision medicine, without research, our population is at the risk of being invisible to this treatment. The problem is this. This is called the 1090 gap as coined by the World Research Forum. This is the global imbalance in health research. On the left is a map distorted by the research funding. As you can see, most of the research funding is in high income countries like the US and Western Europe. While on the right, you see a map which shows the blindness burden, which is concentrated more in India, Southeast Asia, and low middle income countries. So this is called the 1090 gap. Less than 10% of drug investments and less than 10% of clinical trials goes towards 90% of the world's health problems. Again, realizing the need for indigenous research, our visionary leader, Dr. P.N. Sir, established the Aravind Medical Research Foundation as early as 1999. From dedicated research course, it has grown into a vibrant institute with several basic science and clinician scientist faculties across multiple scientific disciplines. Dr. P.N. Sir's next visionary decision was to decentralize research. With nearly 900 ophthalmologists within the system and most of them outside Madurai, he dreamed that every doctor at Aravind should be given the opportunity to become a clinician scientist. This led to the creation of the regional research centers in Pondicherry, Tirunelveli, and Coimbatore. The goal was to embed research into everyday care, making it accessible for everyone across the entire Aravind Eye Care system. The Regional Research Center at Coimbatore was again began in 2022, opened by Dr. P.N. Sir with just a 10 by 10 feet room. In just 3 years, it has grown into a 5,000 square feet world-class center poised to train clinician scientists and drive translational research. We thank Dr. Arvind Sir for his visionary leadership in developing this into a world-class facility. So this is our philosophy at PNRRC Coimbatore. To truly move from volume to value, we have organized our strategy into three pillars. The first is technology for local impact. Adopt global tools into context fit solutions. Third is population specific research, focusing on India's unique genetics, risks, and disparities. Third, India as a platform for global insight, using our unmatched scale and diversity to generate findings with global significance. The 5 research questions we want to answer at this center for the next 5 years are this. They are diverse, ranging from infections to disparities to genetics, regenerative medicine, and drug development. This breadth comes from two simple truths. First, the need is wide. India faces challenges that span from fungal keratitis to inherited retinal diseases. Second, we already have the people who can do this. Aravind Coimbatore alone has 150 ophthalmologists. If even 5% take up research with genuine interest, we can sustain these and several more projects across all these fronts. So this diversity is not accidental, it is by design. It ensures that the problems most relevant to our patients are studied and that our clinicians begin to see that research not as a proactive extra, but as integral to our mission. Given the breadth of our research priorities, it is crucial that we collaborate with partners who bring specialized expertise. Each of these institutions has played a unique role in our journey. These partnerships ensure that we don't work in silos, but instead build on each other's strengths. I'm delighted to see colleagues from all these institutes here with us today, continuing to support our journey. And on behalf of Aravind Eye Care System, I thank you all very much. Our real end product of research is patient impact. Publications, patents, or awards are only bright products, and they matter because they keep the momentum alive and validate our direction. In the past 3 years, we have been able to publish impactful work and receive recognition in both clinical and basic science domains with awards at the state, national, and international levels. Alongside discovery, a key mandate of the center is training. Research only scales when people are prepared to do it. In just 3 years, we have trained multiple young clinicians, hosted over 15 interns from leading universities, and we have welcomed international fellows from Stanford, Yale, and Ottawa who have done basic molecular work with us, and many of whom I'm happy to say continue to collaborate with us even after they left the institution. So alongside hands-on training, we are also building digital tools. The first is a weekly journal digest we are building in-house, a curated, continuously updated feed of relevant articles in ophthalmology. The second is an AI-powered research assistant to help our clinicians help and design and plan studies. Both will be launched later this year, making research training more accessible, structured, and more importantly, sustainable. Research is only possible when there is trust and investment behind it. We have been fortunate to secure highly competitive grants from leading national and international agencies. But alongside these, our deepest gratitude goes to our private supporters. Their generosity has allowed us not only to do this research, but to elevate its impact, translating it into meaningful, impactful change for our patients. With that, I once again extend a warm welcome to each of you and thank you all sincerely for being with us today.
Thank you, Dr. Siddharth, for a clear and inspiring picture of the road ahead. Every auspicious beginning is marked by lighting of the lamp, a symbol of knowledge, wisdom, and hope. As the ancient prayer says, Tamsoma Jyotirgmay, from darkness, lead me to light. Today, let these lamps embody our founder's vision of bringing light into countless lives through research and service. May I now invite our esteemed dignitaries to kindly come forward and light the lamps. Dr. Nachiyar, Madam. Mr. Sanjay Jayavardhan Velu, sir. Dr. Lalita Devi Sanjay, Madam. Dr. R.D. Ravindran, sir. Professor Dharmalingam, sir. May I invite Dr. Kim, sir. Dr. Prajna, sir. Dr. Arvind, sir. Dr. Ratinam, Madam. Dr. Usha, Madam. Dr. Lalita, Madam. Thank you. With the lamps lit, we mark the radiant beginning of this research center's journey. May I now request Dr. Kim, sir, Secretary, Arvind Medical Research Foundation, to welcome our chief guest, Mr. Sanjay Jayavardhan Velu, sir, and accompany him to the dais. May I request Dr. Kalpana, madam, to welcome our chief guest, Dr. Lalita Devi Sanjay. May I invite Dr. GN, madam. Dr. R.D. Ravindran, sir. Dr. Kim, sir. Dr. Prajna, sir. Professor Dharmalingam, sir, to kindly take their seats on the dais. Thank you. I first invite Professor Dharmalingam, sir, Director, Arvind Medical Research Foundation, to deliver his message to us.
Good evening to all of you, respected dignitaries on the dais, and the doctors and all the others, researchers who assembled here for this great occasion. Um, Myself and PN accompanied or went together to various research centers of a Arvindaya Hospital, Tirunelveli, Pondicherry, Coimbatore. And during all those occasions, what I found most interesting was I get to travel with him several hours together in the car. And that's the time we discussed a major interest which we both enjoyed talking about, that is research. I want to tell you a small story. When he started thinking about research ages ago, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago, he came to my lab and then he said, look, I want to find the way to find out among the diabetic patients who will develop diabetic retinopathy. I mean, can you do something about it? I said, in the usual way, I thought, here he is, an ophthalmologist, and he is interested in finding a predictive biomarker. I mean, we are talking about 20 years ago. Then, yes, we can do it, but it will take time and also money. He said, time we definitely have. He said, money, I will find it. So then I took him to the proteomic facility, which I had at MKU at the time, and he was with me for a whole afternoon to look at it, the instrument and how things are done, so on and so forth. That's real interest. So he actually committed himself in a way a true researcher will commit his life to research activities. So that made me to think that this is how all clinicians should be thinking about. And he also thought in the same way. So when he said about a couple of years back, look, we must do something about getting all the clinicians in all AEH hospitals to do research. And I'm sure many of you might have thought this is just a dream. That is, clinicians have so many other things to do. And in that time, they can look at so many patients rather than looking at research. But PN believed that research is exactly what Dr. V also thought about it, taking affordable health. Here, research can do the same thing, taking affordable health to all our Indian patients. That's how the whole activity started. And now you can see, if you put our mind, all we need is many Siddharths to appear on the horizon. I'm sure there are many. If you have mind and if you have dedication to set to do it, you can do it. That's what they are doing in Pondicherry, they are doing in Tirunelveli and all other hospitals as well. And actually, Siddharth has put in a benchmark, which I think is actually putting it, raising it higher and higher and higher, so that all others should follow that. And of course, at this point of time, we have to thank our people who actually made it, Sanjay and his family and others who made it to happen. And I would like to tell you that today, eye is supposed to be the window to the world, but actually it's not only window to the world. Eye is actually a window to your systemic health. Today, many things happens in the eye, which ultimately is going to be seen in your body. Diabetic retinopathy is an indicator for cardiovascular diseases. Many of the ocular surface diseases are indicative of many other complications which are going to happen sooner or later. So today, eye is not only is going to be helpful to ophthalmologists, but eye research is going to be of help to everyone. Recognizing this, various granting agencies now are started looking at the image informatics as well as artificial intelligence to leverage what's happening in the eye and whether we can translate this as a marker to predict what's going to happen to the systemic illness. Therefore, today I feel that eye research is not a unique area of research. Actually, eye is telling you what your body is going to be sooner or later. getting into. And this is what actually we all learned. And also, we are having today a remarkable achievements happening in terms of population genomics. For example, India has completed 10,000 individual genomes. That is IndiGenome or Indian Genome Initiative. And these genomic data is added on to our clinical data, which we have with Aravind Eye Care system. That's a massive amount of information we have. Actually, in my view, if I sell that information, you can probably get at least 10 times more money's worth of the entire eye care system. That much of information we have. That's the wealth we have, and we have to utilize it. The other day I was talking to RDR briefly. He said, I think we should increase the involvement and activities of the RRC. That's what he said. That's what is the right way of looking at it, because we have so much of information in terms of patient data, patient material, and this is not available anywhere else in the world. And that should be really leveraged to do whatever we can possibly do. And today, it's called now the genomics era, which all you may be knowing. And ocular science is called oculomics, which is another area of research where ICMR and other agencies are funding in a major way, where we are looking at the eye as an entire system of genome, proteome, metabolome, and so on and so forth in the context of the diseases. And that's where actually it is going to add up together. The biochemical assays along with the imaging information which you have, when you add it together, you have a unique blueprint of genome level science that could be done. That's actually should be our major objective to explore in the years to come. Another area which PN always tells me is the nanomedicine. We made an effort and we are actually continuing to do it, looking at the nanovesicles in human body and what they are doing. And in that, he has an unwavering belief that nanomedicine added on to genome medicine should be the ultimate objective of any precision medicine. So he already, in terms of what is our focus, what is our future, already has said many things or set many goals for us. That's what I like about his visions. And also, in the area of ocular infections, we have a unique blend of leadership in terms of pure research, because this is something which is unique to our country, fungal infections as well as other infections. So the ocular surface biology and infections is yet another area which we always thought that we must proceed and progress well. And finally, what I feel is that research is not in any way independent of clinical practice. That's what actually PN also believe. It should be an integral part of clinical practice. And he always used to say, sir, someday we should do this. It's always whenever I visit him, he will say, when it is going to happen. So I feel that we all should dedicate ourselves to the visions of Dr. PN in terms of where the research is going to be helping, that is ultimately to the patients. With this, I congratulate Siddharth for his extraordinary effort. He not only gets the things done, but he's also doing his own individual research. And in whichever way we are helping him, we will continue to help him and build up this one as one of the very best centers of clinical as well as the fundamental research. Finally, fundamental research is something which I did for the past 25 years. Without fundamental research, this country cannot have intellectual progress. And this fundamental research is population specific. So with this, in this context, we are all in a good position to do real good science. And this will be an example where Siddharth proved in 3 years, if you want to build something. And obviously, you have to tell that he has the help of all the people available to him to take this further. Thank you very much for this opportunity. And I wish them all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing the story of your journey and the immense importance of ophthalmic research. Next, I warmly welcome Dr. R.D. Ravindran sir, Chairman, Arvind Eye Care System, to share his thoughts with us.
So good afternoon to all of you. Happy to see all of you here after a very long time. The respected Nachar Madam, Mr. Sanjay Jay Varthanavelu, Dr. Lalita Sanjay, Dr. Kalpana, all the senior members of Aravind Eye Care System, the doctors and staff of Aravind Coimbatore, and also people from the various collaborating institutions who all work with Dr. Siddharth. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you for the inauguration of a very full-fledged regional research center. We cannot call it as a regional, it's really a well-established research center, which is named after our chairman emeritus, late Dr. P. Nambar Swami. I mean, he is a person we really miss. He would have been very, very happy if he had seen this, whatever way the research center has come out. It has come out very, very well, and it is fully very well equipped, like the facilities we have in Madurai, and we'll be able to do all kinds of research here. Happy to see that here. As mentioned by Dr. Siddharth and also by Dr. Dharmalingam, this was started in the year 1999. It was a part of our mission to eliminate needless blindness. And Dr. PN was the one who really made it possible, made that dream of Dr. Venkatsamy to eliminate needless blindness. Research is an important arm. That's what Dr. Siddharth and also Dr. Dharmalingam stressed upon. Without research, we cannot make progress. If our people get really involved in the basic fundamental research, not only we contribute to global knowledge, but our day-to-day patient care also will improve a lot because we'll treat the patient in a much, much better way. Initially, the Aravind Medical Research Foundation was guided by late Dr. Muthukarpan. He has done a lot of work in stimulating all our our clinicians. He has spent a lot of time with each of our senior clinicians to find research question and also develop the projects. And later on, since for the last 12, 13 years, Dr. Dharmalingam has taken up, and they both have taken our basic science research to a next level. And after the passing away of Dr. Venkatsamy in the year 2006, Dr. P. Nambar Swami was a person who was instrumental in putting up the Dr. G. Venkatsamy Research Institute. To celebrate his life, he wanted something in the name of Dr. G. Venkatsamy so that his memory is always there. And that has become a world-class facility. We have biogenetics, bioinformatics, immunology, stem cell research, biopharmacology, all research we have, it's happening there, and it has become one of and has contributed a lot. As again, Dr. Dharmalingam mentioned, Dr. PN really wanted this facility, this basic science research facility, to available to all our doctors. So he had the dream of making each of our tertiary care hospital also to do basic science research. That is where the regional research institutes have come up. And as Sir mentioned, Dr. PN had he had three different areas of interest. One is the nanotechnology. He wanted to find some drugs that we are able to apply to the glaucoma people so that they can apply it maybe once in a day or once in a week or once in a month. So that was one of his dream. Second, his dream is to do all the genetic studies to understand the genes which are responsible for the inherited retinal diseases in our population. So the day the gene therapy is available, we have identified the genes on which we can work on and have the gene therapy ready for our population. And the third question, which again Dr. Dharmalingam mentioned, is about the biomarker for diabetic retinopathy. How do we? He has been always. I've heard him talking about it from 1984, 85 onwards when we were postgraduates, that he wanted to find a biomarker which will tell which diabetic will develop a diabetic retinopathy, and of which diabetic will develop a sight-threatening diabetic retinopathy. And interestingly, our Siddharth also shares a similar interest. He is also interested in the inherited retinal diseases and working on sight-threatening diabetic retinopathy. And he's also got an interest in finding out the patients why the cataract occurs much earlier in our Indian population. If you look at the Western population, the cataract happens after the age of 60. But nearly about 25% of the patients we operate today in our country are below the age of 60 years. And then if you are able to find the cause and if you are able to find a curative mechanism, then we'll be able to reduce our cataract surgical rate, the number of surgeries we perform. So, I mean, that is all the benefit of doing a basic science research. So I also appreciate, I went and saw the facility here. It is a really world-class research facility, and appreciate Dr. Aravind, Mr. Jahanraj, and the whole construction team who have done an excellent job. And you have the facility, and we have now Siddharth to do the research. But if all the departments can get involved, all these clinicians in Pondicherry, in Coimbatore can get involved, I think we can make a huge change. And as an organization also, as we would like to see Aravind evolve as a knowledge-based organization. Today, we are a service-based organization, delivering good quality services, but we also would like to see how we can transform into a knowledge-based organization. Today, we have Dr. Ratnam, who has done a PhD as a clinician scientist, but we would like to see many more people do that. I'm happy to say that nearly about now, 10 or 12 of our ophthalmologists have registered for PhD with Maastricht University. But that number has to increase. Every year, we must have 4 or 5 people register. And we have done excellent work on the clinical research. Today, every week, about 5 or 6 publications come out in any of the journals across the world. That's what we have achieved in the clinical research. And the same thing we should be able to achieve in basic science research as well. And with the facilities like what we have here, which we can also establish in all our tertiary care hospitals, we should be able to bring a lot more knowledge to the global database with regard to basic science research. With this, I would like to congratulate Siddharth and also the support given by all of you, all the Dr. Kalpana, Narendran, and the senior medical staff, the support you have given to Siddharth to make this possible. I really appreciate. I'm very sure that if all of you can join in the research as well, I think we'll be able to achieve a lot more in the coming years. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your thoughtful words and for showing us the strength of vision backed by clarity and insight. It's now our privilege to invite our chief guests, Mr. Sanjay Jayawardena sir, Chairman and Managing Director, LMW Limited, to address the gathering.
A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Um, I deem it an honor and privilege to be here today at the inauguration of the Dr. P. Nam Perumal Swamy Regional Research Center, Coimbatore. I also thank the distinguished family of Arvind to have given me this opportunity to address you all on this occasion. On a lighter vein, I feel that it was no fun since I use reading glasses and I forgot to bring them to this institute on such an occasion. So having said that, I'm not competent to talk to all of you on the subject matter. However, what brought Dr. Siddharth and us together was my interest in design and also research for our businesses. And at that time, his discussion on the area of research. Very in a snapshot, our businesses are in the area of engineering, high-end engineering, and we started a journey in the 1950s, 60s with a great support of technology coming in from Switzerland, Germany, and also Japan. A great support at that time, and we continued to take those technology and indigenize it or localize it and make it very effective for our customers in India. During that time is where we as an organization started to get exposed to the research institutes overseas, looking at their way of choosing subjects, looking at their processes of um, of concentrating and bringing out at least 1 out of 10 in terms of success rates in solving a certain issue. I must tell you, I was very surprised by Dr. Siddharth by your presentation. I think the research is a very I mean, it's a very lofty idea, right? But we also realize it costs time and money, and people want results out of that. Now, usually, drug research, I'm told, takes a few $1 billion and also a period of 10 years to be released uh, by the FDA. But this is where I think the process is very important. What you laid out today for your organization in terms of the goals, the process, and the end result, which is not just publications but patents, but also wellness to the patient, I think is really commendable. And I think we as an organization also should learn of how head of design or research can be so clear in the path. Having said that, India is a growing economy. It is one of the largest population in the world. We're very diverse. The demographics are very different, and healthcare is becoming a very, very large subject in India, especially since we don't have a social net, we don't have a social security for most of our people. Now, you're seeing the healthcare industry in India becoming globally recognized and also globally, I would say, appreciated. It is on the generic drug side, it is also in terms of international healthcare, which we're giving not only for our citizens, but also for many people who travel overseas to take care of their health needs in India. This is where every time I come here or pass by this institute, it humbles me to know the model of this institute, which you all have eloquently spoken about, and how you're able to deliver a world class service in the area of healthcare to a very large number of people at almost zero cost. And I think that's commendable how you've kept that vision and dream going. It's not easy. It's crossed maybe three generations till now, yeah. And the world has changed, and yet you're steadfast in your approach to this dream. So I think this is an institute which is worthy of taking up research. I think it's very, very important for us. I'm just coming back a few days ago from Vietnam. Very strange thing happened. We're talking to some people there. They wanted, I said, what is it that you like to visit in India? They said, your libraries. And I was like, okay, was this Nalanda or what? We had a great history of libraries and whatnot. But they said no, because after the war, every piece of literature in Vietnam has disappeared. They don't have any kind of literature. So they're absolutely shooting in the dark. They don't have that base. Now, take it for how important education is for our Indians and how much access we have today to digital information also. The logical step for us is to also then move into the area of research. I think that's where we are going to make a bigger difference in the world. To the research students who are here, I think what I've seen here is a wonderful facility. It's not all about facility, it's about leadership, which I think you have a great leadership in place here. It's also about accessibility. I mean, look at I'm sorry, we use it in our terminology, sample size. I mean, here, I don't think we should say that for human beings, but it's a great sample size, yeah? So look at the demographics you have, the sample size you have, and the access. And above all, people will trust you because of the credibility of the brand. So it's a long haul. Research is a long haul. I'm happy to see that you've had it in three, four areas around Tamil Nadu, and you're all focused on these areas. And I'm sure that in a few years that you will be able to actually come up with something which we are proud of and solve needless blindness, as you rightly said. Just in the end, another important subject is data. The data which we generate is worth its weight in gold, and I'm sure that data is being secured and also is also being made sure that we use analytics and AI tomorrow in order to mine that data and see how we can crash a lot of the process of the discovery time. So in the meantime, you're in a great organization, you have great systems, you have great SOPs, and above all, I think the cause is very noble. So wish you all the very best. And I think we should also learn from an organization like yours. Thank you all once again. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We sincerely appreciate your gracious words of support and the encouragement you bring to this new chapter. Your presence with us today adds immense strength and meaning to this occasion. With respect and gratitude, we take this moment to honor our chief guests. May I request Dr. Kim sir to extend a token of respect to Mr. Sanjay Jayawardena sir. May I also request Dr. Kalpana madam to honor Dr. Lalita Devi Sanjay. We are deeply thankful to you for gracing this occasion and lending your presence today. I now invite Dr. Jean Achiar Madam, Director Emeritus, Arvind Eye Care System, to share her special address with us.
Most respected guests for the day, Dr. RDR Chairman and Director of AMRF, and the partners in eye care in eliminating needless blindness. A very good evening. Today is a very, very special day for me, especially, and the family, and for the institution. A month back, exactly 45 days back, Siddharth came to our house and met Dr. PN. And when you talk about research, he has such a broad smile, even though we both belong to a very remote village where we don't know even the spelling of a research those days. And at the end of the time, he said, Siddhartha asked Dr. PN, can we fix a day for the inauguration of the center? And I don't know who gave 27th to Siddhartha or Dr. PN. And after talking to him, he asked, is the days okay for you? I said, it's already 2 months more, so it's fine. That time he was not well at that time. But what a day and what a special occasion and what a chief guest today. We are really honored, sir. And as I told you, the research, I think our journey in Aravind Eye Care System was very unique. This is the 50th year we are going. 50 years back, our priority was how to prevent blindness. Then started training, how do we train others to do similar work? The third, sharing through LICO to all the institutions how to spread Arvind model. Today, Arvind model is in all the management, including Howard. And as our chief guest mentioned, today India is very, very proud in healthcare system. And as all of you know, our institution, Aravind Eye Care System model, is a unique in the global level. So I'm sure the research also will, I mean, even though it was started in 1999, Chief was interested, initiated by Kalam sir, And fortunately, Siddharth, very young and long number of years, he can take it forward for another 50 to 60 years. And he must try to eliminate needless blindness, no, prevent needless blindness. So thank you. And Siddharth, I really would like to congratulate you. And I still remember the day, and you were sitting with Dr. PN, talking so passionate. And he had, in spite of all the pain in his face, he had a great smile. Thank you once again.
Our sincere thanks to you, madam, for your inspiring message and for the enduring values that you continue to instill in all of us. To conclude our formal proceedings, I invite Dr. Siddharth sir to deliver vote of thanks.
On behalf of Aravind Hospital, Coimbatore, it is my privilege to deliver the vote of thanks on this special occasion. First and foremost, I'd like to thank our chief guests and the distinguished members of the Aravind leadership team for gracing this event with their presence. Your encouragement and guidance continue to inspire us. I extend my heartfelt thanks to our scientific partners, clinicians, and researchers from other hospitals and institutions whose trust and collaboration have been central to our journey. I also thank all our residents, fellows, and consultants at Aravind whose support greatly strengthen our journey. A special word of gratitude to Dr. Aravind Sir, Director Projects, whose vision and leadership have been instrumental in shaping this center into a world-class facility. We are deeply indebted to the professionals who work tirelessly to bring this project to life. Our architects, Dr. Mr. Nyanraj and Mrs. Minolin, for creating a space that is both functional and inspiring. Mr. Ravichandran of Acoustic Consulting, whose effort through the panels have transformed this space. Those who knew it earlier will definitely appreciate the impact of his work, and we thank him sincerely for this. The HVAC team, Mr. Umar and Mr. Pathiban, and the electrical team, Mr. Tamlaris and Mr. Jagan, for their precision and dedication. The art lab team for their contributions to the lab furniture, Mr. Karubsamy of Spinco Analytics and Mr. Krishna Kumar of Lific Technologies for their valuable support. And most importantly, to our in-house Aravind Civil team, Mr. Mutturaj, who deserves special mention for his extraordinary dedication. And the central team of Mr. Vinod, Mr. Balakrishnan, Mr. Vishnu, and Mr. Marikanan, whose tireless efforts and commitment have ensured that this vision became a reality. Last but not least, I've heard Siddharth a lot, but there is a huge research team at Coimbatore with 10 people. When real estate was prime in the old building, we had to always remain in the shadows. So many of the people here have not seen them. So they form the heart of this center, and who have past 3 years, they have worked tirelessly, with sincerity and dedication, building each project piece by piece and steadily bringing us today to this stage. Today is as much a celebration of their perseverance as it is of this new facility. Finally, to everyone gathered here, your presence, encouragement, and goodwill remain a great deal to us. This center is not just a building, but a platform for collaboration, discovery, and innovation. Most importantly, it carries forward the vision of Dr. P. N. Sir to build a strong cadre of clinician scientists who will transform the way we understand, prevent, and treat eye diseases. Thank you all once again.
Thank you, sir, for leading the way for us in making this dream take shape. With this, we conclude the inauguration ceremony. We now warmly invite all of you to join us for a tour of the research facility and for refreshments at Krishna's outside. Thank you.
Resident, sir. Final year PG. He just finished. He did thesis in this he only went for 12 camps in Godulu. Every month to see Tamil Nadu, Kerala.
Okay, okay.
That was my thesis topic as well.
All the best. Good. You should do both.
Yes, sir.
Like the work and otherwise, you have to operate.
Yeah, that has to.
That should answer.